What's up, everybody? Come on in. Come on in. Want to hop on real quick and help some of y'all out. It's end of the year. I know it's bonus and raise time, so I know some of y'all gonna be mad when you see those numbers. So want to help y'all out real quick. I'm Arianne. This is Position to Prosper. So if it's your first time tuning in, say hey. Let me know where you are tuning in from. You can also share and invite your followers by hitting my head of security at the bottom down there. So appreciate that. And hearts. Give hearts. But yeah, so it's end of the year. I see a whole lot of talk about bonuses and raises and stuff. And so I was in HR for about 10 years. Right now, career strategist, financial mentor. So helping people out on that front. And I just want to give you a little insight. It's not your job's responsibility to make you rich. I know you don't want to hear that, but it's not your job. And I mean, like your employer, you working a 9 to 5, it's not their job to make you rich. It really isn't. Their whole agenda is to get the best work or the cheapest price. Like, that's the goal. That's not going to change. And I'm sure your agenda is to get the highest salary for the least amount of work, right? So you're already kind of at opposed end from the gate. So that's not your job, not their job to make you rich. But I will say this. You can get rich off of what you're making. You can get rich off of what you're making, but you got to know how to multiply what you have. That's the whole thing. A lot of times we don't have compensation issues. We don't. Sometimes we do. But a lot of times it's not really compensation issues. We got money management issues. We have unrealistic expectations. But a lot of times it's not compensation. Because you know what? We like to spend before we get stable. We like to spend before we get stable. And that's a poverty mindset. It's like, oh, I got this $100. I'm about to go spend it. Right? Let me go get whatever the latest thing is. Let me go get an Xbox. Let me go get some Jordan. But you don't have a saving. You don't have any kind of investments or nothing else. So it's almost like this. So can you imagine having a house or seeing a house in a neighborhood or wherever else that all the inside has been decorated, got flat screens, leather couches and everything else, and they don't have no walls up? You would be like, what's wrong with that picture, right? I could see the inside of the house, all the furnishing, but they don't have no walls, which is essential. And that's what your finances is like. So when you got a closet full of all this luxury stuff and 20 TVs and 50-inch TVs, but you don't have a savings account, you don't have any investment, your credit looking like who done it and why, you don't do a budget, your net worth, you probably don't know what it is, might be negative, everything else. That's what it's like. It's like you having all the furnishings, but you don't have the walls up. And guess what? Guess who can't do that for you? Your job can't do that for you. So you gotta learn how to get stable and then start spending on, the desires and all that. So I'm not saying you can't have all that other stuff. What I am saying is, you just got to do it in the right order, and we don't do it in the right order. We want to look like we got something before we actually get something. All right? So I want y'all to just have a different mindset going into next year, that it's not your job's fault. And I'm telling you, I was in HR, and I hated to see people get so mad because they wanted a raise. But you know what? They doing the same work, and they were doing the same work for like 10 years. They don't have any new skills. They haven't gone back to school. Don't have any kind of new certification or nothing else. But they want like 10 grand, 15 grand more. How do you legit justify that? I mean, imagine if somebody was trying to sell you a TV, a black and white TV that had rabbit ears. Some of y'all probably don't even know what that is. Got rabbit ears sitting on top. They wanted to sell you that TV for the same price as one of those, 4K or whatever. Let's just say a $4,000 TV. But they want you to spend $4,000 on a black and white one that's like, 20 inches with rabbit ears. And you would look at them like they were crazy. And guess what? That's how your job looking at you. Like, Wait a minute. You trying to sell me a black and white TV for the same price as this $4,000 one that has all these new features, greater efficiency? It ain't gonna happen. It is not gonna happen. So if you really warrant that, be prepared to justify it. Be prepared to back it up. Let them know you got, new skills. Let them know the value that you provided. And yeah, they'll consider it. But again, at the end of the day, their whole goal is to get the best work for the least amount. That's it. And so I don't want you guys sitting around waiting for somebody else to make you rich when God gave you the ability to create wealth. He gave it to you. So your job is just a tool. Your job is a resource. So that's one stream. Now you got to multiply that stream into other things. So whether you're investing directly with your employer through like 401k stuff, automatic savings, whether you use, that money to create a business on the side, create some residual income, that's what you do. It's all about multiplying and diversifying. Multiply and diversify. Those should be your two objectives for next year if you're going to want to see and create greater wealth. Multiply and diversify. Those two different things. Those two things are going to help you. Set some goals, set some savings goals. I'm going to increase my savings by $300 by March. Whatever. It got to be specific. I'm going to invest 2% in 401k plan. Whatever the case is, you got to set some goals and start putting some stuff into place. Otherwise, you're just waiting for somebody else. That's not how people that are rich don't get rich by waiting on somebody else. They multiply and diversify. That's the key. That is the key. And so I'll give you a couple of scriptures too. We're going through Proverbs this entire month. So if you haven't jumped in on that, do that. 31 days of Proverbs. Just read a chapter a day. I know it's the 21st, but you can start today. Doesn't even matter. Start today. Read a chapter a day. Post your favorite verse to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. So let's look at Proverbs 12 and 24. And it says, the hand of the diligent will rule, but the negligent and lazy will be put to forced labor. Forced labor. And a lot of times that's what our jobs are. It's forced. We have to work. We work because we have to and not because we want to, because we're using it to, feed a lifestyle that we've created. Our job didn't create our lifestyle. Our job didn't tell us to go buy that big old TV or those shoes or that Xbox or all them Coach bags and whatever else. Our job didn't do that. We did that. We did that. And so now we're trapped, right? But we work because we have to pay all this stuff off. And it just creates a cycle, a never-ending cycle, and we become dependent on it. And we don't have control. Because let something happen and a round of layoffs go. Or you get blindsided and get fired for something. And then what you gonna do? What you gonna do? And you don't have the other measures in place, right? So sometimes that happens. When you have savings, when you have investments, you have other options, the blow is not nearly as hard because you've prepared. You have prepared, and we're not prepared. We get lazy, we get complacent, we get comfortable, we get a sense of pride and arrogance, and we think we're entitled to things. Your employer doesn't owe you anything. They don't. It's the truth of the matter. They don't owe you anything except for what you deserve. They got to pay you for the work that you do, but y'all agree upon that price. And so just make sure, again, if you're being paid less and you have justification for a raise or whatever else, present your case. But if you don't, then you need to make it happen. Make it happen, or stop spending and start multiplying and diversifying. All right? Think about Proverbs 31. And yeah, we talk about her, the woman's side, but the men too. These people are, she's a business woman. She had employees. She was a giver. She was a saver. Right? So we like talking about Proverbs 31, but dude, she was a hustler. She was hustling. Man, she considered a field and bought it. And then planted a vineyard on that field. So again, multiplying and diversifying. That is going to be your keys to wealth in 2017. I promise you. And yeah, you're going to have to sacrifice your spending for a while to create some margin. So you can do that. So you can start investing. So you can start saving. But you got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere. So that might be reducing a cable bill. That might be not eating out. Whatever you're kind of, I call it wasting, but whatever you're spending your money on right now that's not a need, you're going to have to cut that back. And it might just be for a season, right? 3, 6, 9 months, 12 months. But until you create some room to start investing and saving, you got to do what you got to do. Otherwise, you're going to be sitting out here with, again, the inside of your house decorated and you don't have the walls up. You ain't got the walls up. And that's most of us. So plan on getting your walls built next year. Not your job's responsibility. It's not. Hate to tell you that. They got to pay you for the work that you do, but what you do with those payments, that's on you. That's on you. So like I said before, a lot of times it's not a compensation issue, it's expectation issue, money management issue. You got to make it happen, Captain. Alright, so I love y'all. I know it's a hard word, but it's true. Sometimes the truth hurts. So I love y'all. I want you to think about that. Do your financial review for this year. See where you can cut back on some spending. See where you can invest. See if you can create a business out of something on the side, a few hours a week, whatever the case is, and let's get in position to produce well next year. Alright, so love you guys. You can hit me up if you're not following me on Instagram at Arianne Maccabee. Also sign up on my website. If you go to the tab that says Cubicle CEO, that's where I post all of my career strategy and financial mentoring stuff. So go there and sign up for that. We're going hot and heavy on that in the new year, so you don't want to miss it. So enjoy the rest of your day. If you're watching the replay, thanks for tuning in, but we got to change our mindset going into 2017. All right, so enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll catch y'all either later or tomorrow. Talk to you later. Bye.